Welcome to LC Screen Talk. My name is Larry, and this is my review of Lights Out.
Keep the lights out.
When the trailer was released for this film, the internet was ablaze. It caused so much excitement amongst horror and non-horror fans alike, I feel like, on the internet communities. And naturally, as a horror fan, I also was pretty excited to check this one out because that trailer was really well cut, sold the premise, and made you excited for the film. The end result? It was good for what it was, but it definitely is not a great horror film by any means. So what works here? First of all, I really liked the chemistry between our main character and her boyfriend. I thought they had a really good repertoire between each other, and it felt believable throughout. I also loved how inventive her boyfriend was. He was kind of doing the things that you always wish these people would do in horror movies. He was turning on the light here, just finding creative, resourceful ways to stay alive, and I thought it was wonderful. And he and these situations added quite a bit of much needed humor into the situation. So really, the boyfriend all the way around I thought was a great character and probably the best part about the film. I also think that the premise, just in general, was really good. Having this entity that can only travel through the darkness, but can still travel within darkness in the space. So even if the lights are on, if there's a dark corner, it can reside there, so don't get too close. And I think that's just a really creepy premise, a great idea to create a horror film off of. And overall, those aspects were well executed. Everything about the woman that, creeps through the shadows was done very well. So kudos to the film on those things. And really, I think the acting was pretty good across the board. Maria Bello plays the mom here. She was good. The son was good. Our main actress was good. Everybody was serviceable. We didn't have a real clunk of an acting cast like we do with a lot of these mid-grade horror films. But unfortunately, the film never could really capitalize on all of these promising things that it had laid out for itself. First of all, the rules are never explained at all, and they seem to change. So this entity that creeps through the shadows has to open doors to get in and out of rooms. So she physically turns the door handle, but she can come from up on the ceiling and grab down at you, or she can transport pretty much from one dark space to another one across the room. So it was okay, what is it? So she can't go through hard matter, but she can do everything else? Also, there were parts where you were just okay, so you have the light here in front of you and the light is kind of shining, but you're holding it out like this. Obviously, there's nothing but dark space behind you that she could just come up, run, and grab. So what's going on here? Shouldn't you be shining the flashlight over your own head or something? And that leads to the general horror problem. These people do such stupid things time and time again throughout the movie, and they don't learn from the stupid things that they do. So they'll do something dumb. They don't stop, realize what is going on, evaluate the situation, and move forward. They just do it again, or they do something very similar, or they don't really understand how this thing works, so they're just running around aimless because they didn't stop to realize what was going on. And it's really evident off of a shot that's in the trailer and happens in the first 5 minutes of the movie. So this worker, she turns off the light in this office space, and there's the entity in the doorwell. She flips the light on real quick, the entity disappears, and then she flips off the light, stares at the entity in the doorwell, turns it back on, and then off, and then on, and then off. She literally flicked that light 5 to 6 times. I was like, what? Why would you continue to just stand there staring at this person that shouldn't be here, down here, that keeps disappearing with the light, and keep flicking the light? I just don't know. It's what? And it worked effectively enough in the trailer, but then you just see it in the film and it's just okay, this is going on way too long. I don't understand. You have people roaming into basements, going places they clearly should not be going, and the entire audience knows, come on, what are you doing? Stop, don't do that, don't go there. And it just gets so tiresome. And that's really the worst part about these horror films, is when the people just do such dumb things over and over and over again. But I also think the film was really hurt by weak direction and a weak script. None of the dialogue was particularly well written, and the directing was just very bland. There was nothing unique or not even really good horror directing. I think the sound design was done very well. And I think it got some cool shots, like there was a flickering neon light that had a nice sequence. That was a good sequence of having something happen over and over. But overall, the directing was just bland. We didn't build suspense through the direction. And that's what a good director is here for. James Wan produced this, but if he had directed it, he would have been able to just fill the entire movie with suspense through his directing. So overall, Lights Out is not a great horror film by any means, and it's very apparent when it came out in a year that I think has had some very strong horror and thriller offerings. But for what it is, I think it's a pretty alright time. If you like horror movies, if you're looking for a good little scare that won't stick with you too long, Lights Out would make for a fun Friday night out with friends. But just be warned that you won't be receiving much more than jump scares. So don't go in with high expectations. So that has been my review of Lights Out. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead, click like down below and subscribe to the channel so you are always up to date on our latest videos. Also, join in on the discussion. Are you excited to see Lights Out? And what has been your favorite horror film of 2016? Let me know either in the comment section down below or hit me up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your support. Mwah! Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!